And we'll go ahead and get started with Jeff Ferrato from Cal Sports Report. Go ahead, Jeff.
Chase, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Okay. Take us back to Saturday. You think, considering everything, including the fact that Colorado's defense is pretty good, is that as well as you've played this year? How would you evaluate how you played?
I played well enough to get the win. I'm always going to be the hardest critic on how I play. I think, there's definitely some points in the game where, I could be better. And just, offensively we can be better also. I think, given that, said that, I think, Colorado was a great defense. Or they number one statistically in the Pac-12. We had a great first half against them. I think we scored almost every drive. We put points up on the board, which put us ahead. And then, obviously the second half was a little different. But I think, overall we could all play better.
On a totally different topic, we talked yesterday with Coach Wilcox about the fact that a number of you guys would be eligible to return as sixth-year guys. And I know you discussed this briefly way back in August with us. Have you given it any thought, and what would be the factors that you would consider in addition to football, whether you would consider returning for another season next year?
I haven't given it too much thought. I mean, obviously I know the opportunity is there, but no decision has been made in my head, and we'll see what happens, after this season.
Are there factors besides football and the draft that would go into it?
Yeah, I think, it's always been a dream of mine to play professionally. So, that would definitely go into it. And, certain academic things here at Cal that I'd be able to take. I'm already graduated, so, I'd have to find a grad school or another certificate program to enroll in. So there's a couple of factors, but no decision has been made. We'll see what happens after the season.
And if you were to figure out or get feedback that said, we think you can be an NFL quarterback, but maybe not quite yet, how would that influence you? Or is that too much of a what if question for you at this point?
I think that's too much of a what if at this point. After this season, get all the feedback, from people and coaches, and then we'll see what happens from there.
But you're open to consider all the possibilities.
Yeah, every option I'll consider.
Thanks, Chase.
Okay, David Bush from Bear Insider.
Just what do you see in Oregon State's defense, Chase? Are they about what they were last year, or what do you see?
Yeah, they're pretty similar to last year. I think they do a really good job in their scheme. Their two inside backers have played a lot of football for them. I think they, have some experience in some key spots. I think they play well overall, and obviously they're athletic in the secondary. They're pretty long and lanky. You got guys over 6 foot who are covering, wide receivers in general. So I think overall it's a very talented group. I think, they're one of the better teams in the Pac-12, so it'll be a good game this Saturday.
Now, you guys have had an issue with penalties all year, and you had that one big play called back on Saturday. What's the attitude like in the huddle when that happens? Is it deflated? How do you deal with that?
You deal with it the same as, any kind of adversity or challenge thrown your way. We've been really good, in handling that type of stuff. I think, in the huddle, it's just, okay, next play, lucky for us that none of it has been, kind of mental penalties or pre-snap penalties. It's all been kind of effort and physical penalties, which will happen. As a competitor, a holding will happen, stuff like that will happen in a game. But whether we get pushed back 5, 10, 15 yards, it's just who we are as a team to, okay, that happened, flush it, next play, let's move on.
Good. Thanks very much.
Okay, we'll go to Trace Travers with the Rivals.
Yeah, Chase, you obviously had the touchdown throws to your tight ends, and your last 4 touchdowns have come to tight ends. How much of a focus has it been to get those guys the ball?
I wouldn't say it's been a focus. It's just, the personnel that we're in at the time. The past 4, we've been in 12, 11, 13 personnel. So tight ends have been on the field. And, you know, in the red zone, you know, you like to use them because there's some certain mismatches, you know, especially when teams like to go man coverage. I think, you know, that just shows the depth that we have at the tight end position, that, you know, we have 5, 6 guys playing, you know, the tight end position. I think, you know, each and every one of them has their own, you know, uniqueness to the game. And, you know, whether Gavin's caught 2 touchdowns, Kalecki got his first one, Jermaine had a catch last game. And, you know, obviously Tonjes has been one of the more producing tight ends in his career. So I think, you know, we're blessed as an offense to have those type of weapons.
And on another note, you said to Dave that Oregon State's defense has a lot of continuity from last year, and you guys had a lot of success with some deep shots last year. Do you see some of those, I guess, same holes that presented themselves as last year, or is it a new game plan in that regard?
I wouldn't say it's a new game plan. I mean, each and every year, from year to year, obviously the game plan is going to change from team to team. But, you know, we've definitely watched the film from last year. And I think, you know, the interesting thing is, you know, we played that game with one starting offensive lineman. Obviously in the COVID year, we had some issues before that game and then leading up to that game. So, you know, it's going to be, you know, interesting to see, you know, what our guys who have been playing a lot of football this year can do on Saturday.
Fantastic. Thanks, Chase.
Okay, we'll go to Jeff Ferrado. Go ahead, Jeff.
Chase, their offense keeps the ball for long stretches, runs the ball real effectively. As a result, how important will it be for you guys to sustain drives, to convert third downs, and give your defense a chance to be off the field? You know, I know that's always an issue, but is it more important against a team that really controls the ball with its run game, you know, at times?
Yeah, I think ball control is going to be a big factor in this game. You know, our offenses are pretty similar to where we could go on, you know, 12 play plus drives that, you know, are 10 minutes long. So I think, you know, it's going to be a little less drive time, I would say. You know, we're going to get the ball a little less, so we got to really capitalize on those opportunities. I think even last year we had maybe 8 or 9 drives against these guys. So I think, you know, being able to capitalize on third down, fourth down, and obviously when we get in the red zone, put up points on the board is going to be huge against these guys.
Fantastic. Thanks.
Sorry, guys, I'm multitasking a little bit here, but is there anybody else with the final question for Chase?